So glad you could join us today. Thank you for coming. I'm really looking forward to today because of the exercise meditation that was promised us today. So yeah, I'm excited. And I hope you are as well. So if you are not already signed up to the email list, I would encourage you, our email list, not just a random email list, but our email list. I encourage you to do so because we've got some things coming up that I think you will enjoy. So if you're on the mailing list, that way you won't miss any other events that we're going to be doing on YouTube or any retreats that we're going to be doing online through Zoom, so that you can participate no matter where you are in the world or what your COVID situation is. I'm pretty sure we're going to be putting something together for either mid-November, maybe early December. Mother's like giving me the highlights, but I haven't actually sat down and gotten the details. So that will be coming up. And if you're on the email list, then you'll know all the good stuff as it's happening. And once once this live stream becomes a video, in the little section below the video, I'll put a link where you can sign up for the email list. All right. Me too, Barbara. Hey, Amy. Yay, all the way from England. Gear, so glad you're here. And Branislav, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. How wonderful that you're joining us today. And Anne-Marie and Lynn, hi. I'm so glad you're here from the UK. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always nice to have new folks drop in and see what's what. You have found your tribe. Whether you know it or not yet, you've found your tribe. All right. Yes, Amy. Woohoo. Okay, so let's dive in. See how it goes. Hello, beloved ones. It is wonderful to be with you today. And I use the word wonderful so much because The root of that word is wonder. And it is a wonder that I'm in your heart and you are in mine. And we are one heart, one love, one breath within this moment. There is awe and wonder within this connection, this communion that we are having right now. And so for you to bring yourself to the wonder, whether it's a live stream or just a quick prayer within your being, a quick communion, like a kiss on the cheek, a quick hug, there is wonder there. And I invite you every time to touch that wonder and to let it touch you. So today we are going to share together in a quick exercise of getting focused with your senses and then dropping into a soul expanding meditation. But before we dive into that, I just want to talk a little bit about the way your brain works. Right? So as you know, there is a lot that happens in your brain. It is responsible for an enormous amount of your human life. You know that there are places within your brain that are responsible for thought, for critical thinking, for problem solving. There are hormones and glands that create pleasure or pain. There is this incredible center that is responsible for your autonomic nervous system, right? Your beating heart, your expanding and contracting lungs, all the things that are going on without you having to manage them. You can think of your brain as your mind, your consciousness, your awareness, and it is all of that too. The brain helps to be an interpreter for the sensations that you experience, whether that's a physical sensation or a spiritual sensation or an emotional sensation. It helps to quantify, to qualify, and to interpret that energy, that sensation into words that you can then express through either verbal language or body language. Your brain is an extraordinary thing, full of wonder. And what we are going to focus on today is that part of the brain that deals in thoughts, right? So let's say, for example, you are in school working on a mathematical problem, right? You know how to solve it, but you're being asked to go through the whole process to get your answer at the end. And your brain is working in a very particular manner in order to get to the end of that mathematical equation and either solve it correctly or not. It doesn't really matter. Your brain is still functioning in the same way. But now we shift over to, so you could think of those as thoughts. You are thinking about the mathematical equation. You are thinking about the formula, the steps that need to be gone through. Or what can also be happening is that you're not really thinking thoughts about the equation. But this is where the critical thinking comes in, right? It's different than your everyday run-of-the-mill thought patterns. That problem-solving part of the brain is very focused and able to go through each step, oftentimes without drifting into other thoughts, right? Even if it's a simple equation, you are thinking your way through it, but it's a different kind of thinking. So we are going to focus today on the thoughts that are sort of just rattling around inside your brain at any given moment. You're probably going to experience some when we drop into the meditation. These are the thoughts that are not bad in and of themselves. So I don't want you to make them that which is wrong in your brain or the problem, right? We don't want to go there. But they can be a very big distraction. You have the ability in your brain to shift your focus wherever you want to shift it. All right, is it going to be in your problem-solving, critical thinking part of the brain that is solving mathematical equations? Do you want to focus on your heartbeat, your autonomic nervous system to check in? How's my breathing? How's my heartbeat going? Do you want to focus on the interpretation of sensation? You are having a physical sensation, and so you are focused on that within the mind. You are having a spiritual experience, so your mind is very focused on that. But these thoughts, let's call them busy thoughts, all right? They are a learned function in the brain that fills space. It fills time between activities, right? You are often taught, no matter your culture, that you need to stay busy. There is a saying that translates into many different cultures. Idle hands are the devil's work, right? So you have to be engaged in something all the time. But the problem with that is that it simply isn't possible. Your body, your brain, your mind needs what you call downtime, right? Or rest. It is critical for children to be allowed to be bored, to let their imagination run free, to lie around on the grass and watch the butterflies or the clouds in the sky. Keeping people, particularly young people, busy, busy, busy all the time, whether it's going here or there, or this class or that class, or watching this screen or that screen, or always stimulated, busy, busy, busy. You are training the brain to put those kinds of busy thoughts into overdrive. And it's one of the reasons that people reach for this need for entertainment, stimulation all the time. And your phones, your internet has really helped to give that busy mind something to focus on all the time. If you have one free moment, if you're standing in line at the bank or the grocery store, you pull out your phone. And not all of you, but many of you, right? And it's this busyness in the brain that can often be a big impediment to meditation, to reduced anxiety and less depression. Because that busy mind always has to come up with something to fill the space. But I'm going to propose to you today that that is simply a learned behavior. It does not have a basis in the truth as your being knows it, as your heart and soul knows it. You are encouraged to be productive as an adult. And ultimately, there's nothing wrong with that. You recognize that when you leave the nest, you have to support yourself financially, and being productive is a good way to do that. But you do not need to be overly productive within your mind. Your brain is often exhausted due to the constant need to be busy. And for some of you, even though you have changed your behaviors and you lead a much more relaxed life, you are less likely to be busy all the time in your doing, you may still find that the last holdout is a busyness or always having thoughts tumbling through your mind. And so today we're going to address that very thing. And don't be surprised, beloved ones, if you decide to practice this, that fear comes up, because being busy means that you are being productive, you are contributing, you are doing what you're supposed to do, you're controlling your life, you're holding it together, you're making things happen. And if you quiet that busyness, not just when you're meditating, but throughout your daily life, there can arise within you the feeling that you're messing up. You're not doing enough. You are not contributing enough. And if you don't do that, your finances may collapse. You may not be able to get what you feel you want or you need. So be aware that shifting this mindset, these thought patterns, can come with some emotional upheaval, right? But you, as the mature adult, can pause and breathe through that fear and remind yourself that these busy thoughts are not really what are getting you ahead. They're not particularly creative. They often go over ground that you've gone over 100 times, or you're fantasizing about things that don't even exist, a life you don't actually have. thinking about the past that's already done, that you cannot change, going over and over and over again a conversation that you had, the things you wished you said, and when he said and she said and I said and they said. These are not destructive in the sense that sometimes you need to do that for certain situations in order for you to process the experience. And that's all right. So we are not completely wanting to get rid of this ability. But when they are filling your mind to the point where your problem-solving brain and your critical thinking brain or your imaginative brain, your creative brain can't get a word in edgewise, can't be part of the conversation or the experience, that's when these thought patterns can become problematic. And only you know how much of this is going on in your head throughout your day and sometimes throughout your night if you struggle with sleeping. Quieting the busy mind is, of course, important to having very centered and wonderful meditations. But think about what it could bring to your life if the busy mind were more quiet and you just left space for the other parts of your brain that are extraordinary and powerful and wonderful. And a very vibrant tool or vibrant part of your human experience. That when aligned with your heart and your soul can bring a life of peace and authentic self-expression in a way that maybe you are not used to having. So it's a little bit like taking the steps of meditation and incorporating them simply into your daily life, right? Just your everyday waking conscious experience. So it is up to you to literally retrain your brain to focus on other things. Especially when you are not engaged in anything specific. You are just standing in line at the grocery store or at the bank, or you are sitting in traffic, or you are at a place where you need to be where you are, but there's nothing really to do but wait, but be there. These are great places to practice this exercise. And the desire to distract yourself, to fill that space, might be really big for you. So try and just say, no, I'm not going to fill it with my phone or internet or checking text or that, or even the radio in your car. But I'm going to engage my senses instead, right? So here's how we begin. We are going to close our eyes for this, you and I, but you can also do this with your eyes open. Practice with your eyes closed And then practice with your eyes open. So close your eyes and begin taking deep breaths. And first, just notice your body, how you're sitting, where you're sitting. How does what you're sitting on feel? To the skin, the muscles, the blood, the bones of your body. Now listen to the sounds within your room. The sound of my voice and any other sound. Now smell. Does your body give off a scent? Can you smell something in the room? Does that smell have a taste? How does your tongue feel within your mouth? Feel your lungs expand and contract. Feel the ribs move as they expand and contract. And feel your spine move when your ribs move. If you breathe into your belly, feel your lungs and your belly expand and contract. And already you can feel the difference. You can experience the difference when your brain is focused here with your senses. Then when you are thinking about what you have to do for the day, how something's going to go, a conversation that happened yesterday, busy thoughts, you can already feel the difference from just focusing on the breath as it expands and contracts your body. Listen to the breath with your ears, feel it, the sensations in your body. And maybe your thoughts, your busy thoughts, are trying very hard to get your attention. Maybe you are upset about something. You are disappointed in something. You are anxious about something. And those busy thoughts are going to try hard to get your attention. So, heighten your senses a bit. Make noise when you breathe. That dispels those busy thoughts just like that. Maybe you can chant a little bit. Listen and feel the vibration of Om. Om. That dispels and disperses those busy thoughts right away. And if you have to chant Om or hum, just hum one tone, then keep doing that. If you are afraid you are going to forget something, then write it down. Don't keep recycling that thought over and over and over and over and over again. It can help you remember when the time comes to go and do what you need to do or get what you need to get. But think of all that energy and time that it takes up inside your brain. All that effort to keep that one reminder cycling over and over again, when it could have taken just a moment or two to write it down, so that you can let that thought go. Now slowly open your eyes and focus on one thing. And really look at that thing. Now you're standing in line at the grocery store. And just focus on it. Look at all its components, its colors, its shape. As if you were drinking it in. And then move to another object. You don't have to have any kind of opinion or a judgment or assumption about those people or objects that you're looking at. All that you're doing is using your physical eyes to quiet your thoughts, to come to the present moment. Even when you are hurting, when you are sad, when you are angry, when you feel lost, when you are anxious, focus and breathe. If it's too scary to have your eyes closed and to be inside yourself because you are too wound up, too overwrought, then use your eyes. Breathe and look and just observe, drinking in the colors, the shapes, the presence of others. Beautiful. Now close your eyes again and feel how easy it is to be centered, still and ready for meditation. Keep letting those busy thoughts go. And promise your brain that if something important pops up, you will write it down. Make note of it. Put it in your calendar. Take the action that is needed so that you don't create more problems in your life. And from this place of stillness and quiet, invite your soul to expand. To fill your heart, your body, and your brain with its presence. Not to answer your questions or to get or do, but just to relax and be. Whether you are sitting in traffic, at line at the bank or grocery store, or waiting for a friend to meet you at the park. It is the expansion of your soul that brings the feeling of peace. And when your soul is at the forefront of your mind, you don't need your busy thoughts. You don't even want them. You are content just to be. Eyes open, eyes closed, at home in a meditation, sitting in traffic, it doesn't matter. This is your life as a meditation. And as each and every one of you knows, that your life feels better when you meditate. No matter how that looks for you, when you meditate in a way that works for you, you feel better. And so let's bring that into your everyday life. So now with your soul expanded and that feeling of quiet and peace within you, now slowly open your eyes. And again, just let that remain. Keep breathing and listening to your breath. This is the practice of bringing more being into your doing. Less busy, more being. And I know that this is going to sound contrary to what you may have been raised to believe. But the more being that is allowed into your doing, the more productive you will be in setting free your heart's desires, expressing yourself authentically, and creating a circle of support that is there for you at every level of your life. Just practice this, beloved ones. And know that it will take practice. Be kind and patient with yourself. And know that I love you. And I'm happy to relieve you of your busy thoughts if you will give them to me. Namaste. Mm. Mm. Oh, that was so wonderful. You are so welcome, Anna. I'm so glad you were here. Oh, thank you, Life. I love you too, Life Williams. Happy Monday, Kathy. Hey, Alexandra. I'm so glad you're here. And Marisol, Claudia, yay, and Cher. So great to see you. I have something that I wanted to offer as well. And I have, as I think, I don't know if I've spoken about this much before. I think I have, that I have ADHD, had it since birth, like everybody who has ADHD or ADD. And I struggle with these busy thoughts even more so, than the average person, because that's just how my mind works. And I watched this, so I'm not going to take credit for this because I saw this on a YouTube video once. This young man talked about something that helped him enormously. And I'm just going to cry when I say it because I don't know why, but it touches me so deeply. What he started doing for himself is when his thoughts would start ramping up and like really getting going, he would say, shh, shh, like you would a baby, like you'd hush an infant, not like, oh, be quiet, get out of here, I don't want you here. It was like, it was just so filled with understanding and compassion, and I do this for myself and it is incredibly effective. I just close my eyes for a minute and take a deep breath. And out loud, I go, shh, 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 shh. I kind of pat my heart. And it is, I just love that. It's one of the nicest practices that I've ever, embraced for myself. Because my monkey mind can really be a drag, and it impedes meditation for me, and it's just it's definitely a thing. And so it just takes the blame away from me, like I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not spiritual enough, I'm not doing this enough, not doing that. It just cuts through all of that, and it comforts my my little girl inside, and so powerful. So I don't even remember this young man's name. This was a couple years ago that I found the video, and I was just so grateful. So if that helps anybody, then awesome. But it sure helps me. You are so welcome, Gear and Amy and Deborah. Marisol, you're so welcome. Great to see you all today. Thank you for joining me, and have a fantastic week. And I will see you here next Monday.